Welcome to Grant Writing Made Clear. The truth is, the grant writing process isn't always clear, but with the right guidance, proven actionable strategies, and expert insights, the process becomes easier, simpler, and yes, clearer. I am Dr. Trenette, your host of Grant Writing Made Clear, and a former nonprofit president turned distinguished professor and behavioral scientist with 2 decades of grant writing experience. I remember what it was like to be a busy nonprofit leader with little time but big financial sustainability concerns. Over the years, I have transformed my skills from securing $1,000 foundation grants to winning multi-million-dollar federal grants. I created this podcast in response to the grant writing coaching requests I've received from nonprofit leaders, entrepreneurs, and professors over the years. Join me each week as I reveal insider strategies and share key lessons that turn wishful thinking into winning applications. Pull up a seat and get ready to be inspired, empowered, and transformed. Whether you're a beginner or a pro looking to sharpen your skills and create a life you love, you're in the right place, my friend. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to Grant Writing Made Clear. I am your host, Dr. Trenette, and today we're diving into something that will keep you ahead of the curve, my top 5 grant funding trends for 2025. Before we jump in, let's be honest. The grant landscape is changing faster than my morning tea gets cold. And trust me, that's fast. If you want to stay competitive, you have to be 3 steps ahead of the game, especially now in this season. My mentor who recently retired was famous for his ability to see the future of our field. That's what great leaders do. They anticipate, adapt, and stay ahead. My hope is that today's episode equips you to do just that as you navigate 2025. We're going to be thinking ahead of the game. We're going to be thinking into the future. We're going to be trying to predict where we think the field is going. And that's where we're going to begin to conceptualize good ideas. So let's dive in. Our first trend is the shifting federal funding landscape. Let's just go ahead and kick things off with federal funding. You know I love federal grants. You all know that. They have been instrumental in helping me to make real community impact. So I love federal grants. My grants are often 5-year grants. They're usually very large grants, which allows me to build an infrastructure to do the work that we do. But here's the thing. The landscape is shifting. And no, we're not diving into politics today, but we are diving into the facts. Priorities like DEI may not be as prominent moving forward. So here's my pro tip for you as you begin to think about 2025, particularly with the focus on federal funding. My tip is to be flexible. My tip is to diversify your portfolio. I want you to think expansively about your mission and get strategic about how you frame your work, okay? So I want you to focus on addressing core community needs that are universally supported and aligned with funders' current priorities. Areas like youth empowerment, economic resilience, educational access, community health. Think broadly about your mission. And at the same time, I want you to be mindful to steer clear of topics that may conflict with the funder's guidelines and lead to rejection. The key here in this season is going to be adaptability without losing your essence, okay? So I remember Shirley Caesar, some of you may know that name. Shirley Caesar said the reason why she has been able to stay and to last as long as she has is that she has been able to adapt with the trends. And so if we're going to get funding in 2025 and beyond, we're going to have to be flexible. And that's what I'm encouraging you. The people and the organizations that will thrive in 2025, I believe, are those that can present their goals through multiple compelling lenses while staying true to their core purpose. So it's not about changing who you are, it's about showcasing your impact in ways that resonate with the evolving priorities of funders and the communities you serve. Here's another tip: just because one door seems to be closing doesn't mean other doors are not opening. I want you to think about grant writing like dating. When one relationship ends, another opportunity might be just around the corner. And let's be honest, who hasn't had to kiss a few frogs while waiting for the right prince, right? So I want you to be flexible in this season. I want you to have the audacity of hope. No matter what it looks like in this season, I want you to persevere. I want you to begin to think broadly about your mission and think about how you can align with funders' priorities while keeping true to your mission, while continuing to help your community. Okay, so related to that is trend number two. I believe foundations and donors may take center stage in 2025. It's possible. When federal funding gets uncertain, foundations often step up. And in 2025, that could be their moment to shine. I expect some foundations will increase their grant numbers and award amounts in 2025. So here's a challenge for you. I hope you have your pen and paper out. Here's a challenge. When was the last time you really studied a foundation's priorities? I'm not talking about skimming their website. I mean diving in like you're preparing for a Netflix binge, right? You know how when you finally have some time, maybe on a weekend or maybe it's a snow day, and you are excited and ready to be in bed or on the sofa all day watching Netflix, right? Like all day, you're committed to this. When is the last time you were committed to really diving in and trying to understand Foundation's priorities? Funders have specific missions, and your job is to align your project like the perfect puzzle piece. Okay. So, my strategy, my recommendation for you, going back to my challenge for you, is to take some time to search for foundations and really get a sense of what their current priorities are, recognizing that their priorities may change over the next couple years. And so, if federal funding for an area you care about is shrinking, in a particular area, I want you to look for foundations that are passionate about that particular area. So again, we know that DEI may be an area that is going to shrink over the next couple years. And so I would encourage you to look for foundations that are interested in funding DEI work. Some that come to my mind in this moment are the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, the William T. Grant Foundation, and the Kellogg Foundation. So I want you to begin thinking about foundations who may be interested in funding the work you do if your work is something that may decrease in its ability to be funded by the federal government over the next few years. Trend number three relates to AI, artificial intelligence. Let's talk about it. To be clear, AI should not be writing your grants applications. My coach calls AI her intern, and I love that perspective. Think of AI as your brainstorming buddy or your research assistant, okay? I am learning AI in this very moment because I knew that I would have this podcast and people would want to know about AI. And so I've started to use AI so that I can help teach you all how to use AI in writing grant proposals. And let me tell you, I am learning that AI is like having a really smart friend who sometimes gets things very wrong. You know how you have that friend who is super smart and brilliant and you love them to pieces and you call them when you have a question and you consult them. You take them to coffee because they're so smart. But every now and then they're like clearly wrong. That's AI, right? So AI is right a lot of the times, but sometimes AI is not so right. And so you have to remember that. And you have to then check over whatever it is AI is suggesting to you. And so I'll give you a couple specific software to consider as you are learning AI. One of the ones that you've probably heard about that everybody seems to be using is ChatGPT. I actually like ChatGPT. I like it for idea generation and brainstorming. So I would also encourage you to consider ChatGPT for brainstorming. Another one that not as many people are talking about is Perplexity. Perplexity is an AI tool that you can use similar to how you use Google. You use it to ask questions and to clarify concepts. So you could possibly use Perplexity in lieu of using Google. And there are so many other AI tools out there. I'm learning them. I'm creating a list of them so that when we have more time, I can dive into AI. Like one of our episodes in the future will solely focus on AI. So for now, though, Chat GPT for brainstorming and idea generation, and Perplexity if you want to ask it questions or have it clarify concepts for you. Okay, so trend number 4, and keep in mind I'm giving you 5 trends for 2025. Trend number 4 is AI for social impact. Here's where it gets really exciting for me because if you know me well, you know that I believe one of my strengths is conceptualizing grant ideas. I think that's one of the areas that I do really well. We all have different areas that we shine. One of mine is being able to look at the literature and identify gaps and conceptualize studies to help fill those gaps, right? And so I want to encourage you today to not only use AI to help you with brainstorming and clarifying concepts, as we just talked about in trend number 3, I want to encourage you, my friend, to use AI to also help you create impact. Funders are increasingly interested in projects that integrate AI into their studies to drive social change. So, one idea for you is as you think about how can you incorporate AI into your study? How can you incorporate AI into your project? One idea is what if you developed an AI driven youth anxiety management program, right? So what if you had an anxiety management program for youth and you incorporated AI into that project? What if you used AI to personalize a weight loss intervention that adapts in real time? So, one of my interests for a long time has been thinking about how we can customize interventions in real time for each participant. I believe AI will give us the potential to do that. So, AI can help us bring customization to our work, tailoring it to the unique needs of the people we serve. So again, I want to encourage you to think about not only how you can use AI to help you brainstorm, but how you can incorporate AI into the work you do. I want you to start thinking about how AI can add innovation to your proposals. Funders want to see impact. Yes, they do, but they also want to see you breaking new ground. I believe AI can help you to break new ground. I want to give you some homework. I know you all love homework. I know you love homework. I want to give you some homework. And I think what I want to ask you to do is to sit down or take a walk or take a drive, whatever it is you do to brainstorm and think about how AI can improve the work you're doing. And if you don't have an answer after you take some time to think about that, that means you likely need to learn more about AI. And if that's the case, stay tuned because, again, one of our future episodes, we're going to be talking more about AI. And trend number 5, impact oriented funding. For years, impact has been a buzzword. But now in 2025, I believe impact is going to be a non negotiable. Trend 5 is impact being a non negotiable. Funders will want to see solid evaluation methods, more than just participation rates. Oh, how many people participated in this project? How many people attended this workshop? They're going to want to see more than just participation rates. They're going to want to see more than just basic designs. I have been noticing that more and more funders are asking to see robust methods like randomized controlled trials or strong quasi experimental designs. So what does that mean for us? That means you will have to show your potential impact. And if you're thinking that this sounds intimidating, don't worry. Because again, we're going to be breaking down strategies over the coming weeks. I want you to use these trends not just as predictions, but as your roadmap for success in 2025. I want you to stay curious. I want you to stay flexible. I want you to stay hopeful. And most importantly, I want you to stay passionate about your mission. I always say this, but someone needs the work you're doing. Someone needs this work. That's why I'm here. Trust me, I am busy. I am busy, but I make time for this because I believe this is one of the ways we can have impact by teaching people how to get funding and then you using that funding to help people. So I want to encourage you to stay the course. No matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, I want to encourage you to persevere. Hang in there. Someone needs what you have to offer. Okay, so next week, y'all, we're going to be talking about how to implement these trends in your grant proposals. I have a special guest next week. I'm so excited about this. Dr. Rachel Good, my friend and colleague. You will not want to miss her. Make sure you are here next week. It's going to be so good. And before you go, do not forget to grab your free guide. I've been talking about this. I hope you received it. Think like a winner, unlock your path to fundable ideas in one day. It is your perfect starting point to turn your big ideas into funded realities. The link to get this free guide is down in the show notes. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Let's keep making your grant writing journey clear, purposeful, and wildly successful. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know you could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. And so I say thank you. Thank you for joining me today on Grant Writing Made Clear. Until next time, keep dreaming big and writing. I love you. Thank you for listening to Grant Writing Made Clear. I hope today's episode gave you inspiration, confidence, and clear information that you can turn into action. Remember, you are not alone. There's a whole community here striving for the same impact. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, leave a quick review to help more people find the show, and share this episode with others in your network. It really does make a difference. For more grant writing tips and resources, follow me on social media. Until next time, keep showing up, keep learning, and remain determined. I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye for now.